we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show, man. Everybody, I hope you're doing well. We're continuing down the path of getting in this lab of scouting reports. We're talking Drake Maye, quarterback from North Carolina. I mean, he is one of my favorite players in this draft class. I'm going to already say it right now. I love his game. You guys already know how I feel about this man. If you've watched previous videos, he is that good. Yes, there is things he needs to round out of his game. There is some boom and bust potential, but similarly, we could say the same about a Caleb Williams. So let's dive into Drake Maye. I got pros, cons, and a grade score that may shock some of y'all. Let's dive into Drake Maye, UNC scouting report. So when we break down this quarterback class, it is very interesting because who is gonna be the top dog coming out of this class? We understand the quote-unquote generational quarterback classes like Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. How did that turn out? So y'all gotta see the tape. Eye test does tell the tale, but when they get into the NFL, how are they gonna progress? Are they gonna have the coaching staff? Are they gonna have the players, the offensive pieces to make them that much better in the pros? When we talk somebody like Drake Maye, he's got a heaping amount of pros. While there is some cons, he definitely has to work out. I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all that he's the next coming of Josh Allen, but there is very much similar traits in why you liked Josh Allen coming out of the draft, and a lot of people didn't because stats weren't necessarily overly abundant. He was just a big arm with great mobility and good size. So now you're going to sit here and say, is Drake Maye that guy? I'm not going to say that Drake Maye's the next coming of Josh Allen. I won't go that far, but I mean, there are a lot of great traits, elite, uncoachable traits that Drake does have that will showcase the talent in the NFL. So let's start with those measurables. As always, 6'4", 223 is the stature. Very good, 21 years of age. Played in 30 contests, 64.9 on the completion percentage, 8,018 yards, 8.4 on the average, 63 TDs to only 16 interceptions. As a two-year starter is very good, y'all. He was able to at least move this offense down the field quite a bit, showcase his talents. Okay, and what's the biggest problem that we see right now with everybody with Drake Maye? Is he going to be Mitchell Trubisky 2.0? That's the scary part of it because UNC quarterbacks haven't necessarily turned out. Sam Howell looked good in his rookie year, over 4,000, or his second year, but it was technically his rookie year, over 4,000 yards passing. But let's talk some pros for a Drake Maye. There are a heaping amount of them. Like I said, prototype size and frame. It is all on, the stature part of it for a quarterback you want to see, and he definitely has that. Elite arm talent, one of the best, if not the best arm talents in this entire draft class. He will rival somebody like Caleb Williams and a Jaden Daniels, who both also have very strong arms. But I like Drake's arm a lot, man. It is a live arm, and it is definitely in that elite trajectory talent that you're looking for when you say Patrick Mahomes, when you say Josh Allen type of arm. Drake Maye definitely has the ability to go deep, and he can actually put it on a pinpoint dime if he needs to. Ball placement is great, man. When he hits it, it's unbelievable. Bucket drops, leads his wide receivers. He does this extremely well. Saw a stat that it was like 22 out of 27 deep throws were completed by a Drake Maye in his time with UNC. Very good statistically speaking when he does find his wide receivers. There is issues. We will get into those in the cons, but I'm telling you, let's talk about what he does well because he does these very consistently. Good zip on the ball, man. Okay, is it, when I did Caleb Williams, the torque and the zip on the ball is probably better than a Drake Maye for Caleb Williams. No question, but the zip on the ball is very good, very sound for Drake, and you're not going to be wanting for more. Very good field progressions. I mean, okay, some say he'll lock into that first read, and then when it's not there, he's going to, dissipate and not, throw the pass where it needs to be. I don't see it as much. He does progress the field fairly well. Let's just say it that way. I was going to mix two words together, but I mean, he does progress the field fairly well enough for me to call it a pro. He fits passes into the right windows. I mean, very tight window throws. I mean, you're talking elite ball placement in those tight windows. Definitely does that on point. Is there issues? Yes, I'm going to keep repeating that, but I'm telling you what he does extremely well with high levels of consistency. He can make all the big boy throws down the field over the linebackers, between the defensive backs, fitting them into the tightest of windows. It's absolutely there, and that's what you want to see. These are uncoachable, God-given, talented traits that if you can round out his mechanics, round out certain, eyes, down the field, progressive instincts, then you're going to understand what you got out of a Caleb Williams, or out of a Drake Maye, Like we saw with Josh Allen, he had to round out his mechanics to be that much better of a passer. Drake Maye could be in that same category as well. Good pocket awareness. To me, it's pro-ready, man. Very good in the footwork. It's absolutely fantastic fantastic. It's bouncy. He steps up in the pocket. He sidesteps. He can escape and navigate the pocket that way as well. To me, it is pro ready, hence why he gets the check marks above somebody like a Caleb Williams in that sense, where Caleb is looking to always bounce. Don't want to say always. He's more comfortable bounce in the pocket, where I believe a Drake Maye can absolutely dissect the field from the pocket with his footwork, and he's always bouncy. It is never usually you see him anywhere flat-footed on the field. Always bouncy, looking for his wide receivers, looking for the option to at least try to make a play. Love that about him, and I think it is pro-ready in that sense. So when you're talking elite arm talent with good footwork, man, you're halfway there to the battle of having a true franchise passer. Very good mechanics. Steps into the throws, hip movement is very good, very strong, and that's what enables him to at least get the ball down the field extremely well. I do like that about his game as well. Mechanics can always be polished off. Nobody's a perfect prospect coming out of college. NFL coaches can get the best out of somebody who has all the traits, God-given talents, and Drake Maye definitely has these. So round out the mechanics even more, and you're going to see what Drake Maye could potentially be in the NFL. Pocket manipulation is absolutely fantastic. Side steps, step-ups, like I'm saying, double checks for me because it aids in buying time, and UNC did not have the best offensive line. Let's be serious, man. He also did lose some talent, so we got to say, what did Drake Maye have to play with year over year? And then you're going to understand why statistics did dip a little bit this past year. But, I mean, telling you right now, the pocket awareness to me is so good. This is what you're looking for out of your rookie quarterbacks, to at least now learn the playbook. At least he feels the pressure coming at him, and he's able to step up and at least make some plays, man. Creative, he won't give up on plays. He is extremely mobile in that sense as well. That's why a lot of people saying, the Justin Herbert, Josh Allen potential comps. I'm not going to comp him to any of these quarterbacks in the NFL because they are great already. What we do see is where, these guys did start to where Drake Maye is today. Extremely physical in the run game, man. Is he going to bowl you over like a Josh Allen? Probably not, but he does play that physical run style game as well. He will try to hurdle guys. He's got a decent stiff arm, and he will challenge tacklers, man. He's a very good athlete, very good athletic ability. I don't think there's anything you can say about what he can do on the field, God-given talent-wise. You're going to sit here and say, oh, I'm out on Drake Maye because he misses a few throws here and there. He is this good, man. This is what you're looking for, and you want a good sound arm. Rush stats, I mean, you're talking people saying, yeah, he's not very mobile whatsoever. 302 attempts for 1,209 yards and 16 rushing touchdowns. So get off the bandwagon of those people that say that Drake Maye is not a mobile quarterback. But for some cons, he's got them, man. He's got a lot of them, okay? And I'm not going to sugarcoat this whatsoever, man. He can short arm the throws, mid-range, deep and short. We've seen it over and over again. He will get his guys open down on his second, third reads, and he will miss these throws. He will throw the interceptions, like costly, all on him mistake interceptions. And this is why people are like, I'm out. I don't like it. His decision-making is terrible. He's trying to do too much, and that's the Josh Allen effect. You try to play hero ball, you try to fit it into windows that you believe you can do, and then you end up throwing an interception. That does not mean he can't make the throws, y'all. It just means that he's doing it at the wrong times, and he believes that his arm talent can actually get the ball into places where it needs to be. But it is still a con. He can short arm throws. We have seen it a lot. He'll miss the easy ones, but he'll make the great ones. So that's another tell you say as well. Can he make the difficult ones? Great. I mean, okay, we got to round out the rest of the ones that are easier for him. Maybe it's he overthinks it as well. Rollout accuracy definitely needs work as well. He's throwing it behind his wide receivers, throwing it over the top of the wide receivers. These are the other problems as well. So that is the mechanics that you got to work on that I was speaking of in the pros. Even though I do like his throwing mechanics from the pocket, it's the rollout mechanics and the short arm mechanics that you definitely got to work out. Get your wide receivers the ball where that's supposed to be, in front of the wide receivers on the dumps, and then these guys let them make plays in the open field. He can force the ball as well. We've seen this a number of times, especially against Clemson. We've seen it. He struggled versus Clemson both in 2022 and 2023. I mean, it was the situation where everyone's saying he can't play a great defense. He makes a lot of mistakes. He still made a lot of good plays in those games as well. But when you see what really looks bad, you see it against the better defenses, which makes people say, oh, he can't play football. It's part of the process of how his team around him also is. So you got to understand that also, but he can force the ball, and it is definitely an issue. He can struggle under pressure, but it did improve in 2023. And I mean, he is youthful in that sense, 2-year starter, enough experience to say he's got enough on his resume. But I mean, the offensive line, you got to put a caveat in that as well. The offensive line was not great at UNC, didn't necessarily have a run game. He lost a lot of the talent. I mean, stat reduction year over year, absolutely. He lost guys like Antoine Green, Josh Downs, no run game. He was basically the run game. So, I mean, when you're talking about being under pressure and, struggling when the pressure's coming, there is answers for that as well, that it's not just always on this guy to be, watching for the pressure. There's just no one to throw to sometimes, and then you got to take a sack, or he's always rolling out, and then he's misthrowing the football. So, I mean, pressure was a big one as well, man. Touch consistency definitely needs improvement, like I'm saying. He will miss his targets from time to time on the easier throws. The touch passes, we want to see a little bit better in that sense as well. And he needs to protect himself, man, in the open field. Again, taking big hits in the run game, definitely not warranted. But we've seen guys with the stature, 6'4", 223, they're able to take on this punishment. But you want to see him, at least go out of bounds a little bit more. Don't fumble the football. Don't throw the interceptions. And just, make the plays that are absolutely there for you. Protect yourself. We don't want to see the injuries. And like I said, struggled versus guys like teams like Clemson, better defenses. We did see it from time to time. But what you see out of Drake Maye, he is so good in so many facets that you are going to overlook the inadequacy, because a lot of it can be coached out of his game. What you cannot coach: speed, arm talent, physicality. I mean, physicality you can maybe, because you can get him in the weight room, but I'm talking about the heart in a player. You can't coach these things, and I think Drake Maye is an absolute gem, one of my favorites. So for grading purposes, this may shock some of y'all, because, I mean, the pocket awareness definitely upped him above a Caleb Williams for me. 83.7% is my grade score for a Drake Maye, and I understand everybody's going to question this and say, how can you have him graded above a Caleb Williams? If I'm wrong, I'm going to eat my words 110%. I just love every ounce of what Drake Maye brings onto the field, and I think everything that he does poorly, you can coach out of his game. I think that it is all possible, just like we saw out of somebody like a Josh Allen, to be that next guy that you want to be as your franchise passer. I understand the stigma of Mitchell Trubisky coming from UNC, and it wasn't a great turnout for him. So it does sour a lot of these, scouts teams and all these people that are looking at Drake Maye saying he's not going to be successful in the NFL. I truly hope he is, because, I mean, everything we see today definitely translates, and that's why the grade score is where it is today for me. So there you have it. That is Drake Maye, quarterback, my favorite prospect at the quarterback position coming out of this draft class. I'm still a fan of Caleb. I'm still a fan of Jaden Daniels. Think they're absolutely quality prospects, and we could see a lot of, good quarterback play coming out of this class, but we'll see. They're going to need the situation in their team development, in their progressions. If you do these guys like you did Justin Fields with revolving door coaches, offensive coordinators, you're going to see these guys struggle, man. So it is important on landing spot how they are coached up and where and what weapons they do have on the field. But Drake Maye to me is absolutely quality. You got the size, you got the arm, you got the skills, you got the mobility, the talent. I mean, it's all there on film. You just need him to progress in the NFL to be that guy and make me look right on this one. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What do y'all thinking of Drake Maye? You like him better than Caleb? You like Caleb or Daniels over him? Throw it in the comments. We can definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.